In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the most common mistakes that keeps you trapped in this loop of not seeing results, of not being able to manifest your specific person or any other thing for that matter. This concept applies to everything. But of course, as you know, I always focus on a specific person for the most part, although I've manifested all sorts of things because this time is a very vulnerable time for a lot of you. We're coming up to the holidays, Christmas, New Year. I know a lot of you are feeling vulnerable, are feeling stressed out about it. And SP manifestations tend to cause the most anxiety, the most turmoil, the most pain for a lot of us because it involves a lot of the past baggage that we drag up with us, because it involves the heart, because it involves a lot of emotions, and we can get stuck a lot of the time, as you know, with the 3D reality, getting caught up in this loop. But I want to share something really key in this video as to why some of you might be experiencing this, where you're not getting results or it's taking the longest time or whatever's happening with you. And I want you to keep this in mind. Avoid falling into this trap, as many people do. I myself, I know in the beginning, before I would shift state, would catch myself out in this trap as well. So stay tuned and I'm going to share all here. But first up, I just want to thank you all for joining me. I'm Athena Raven. I'm a mental health and manifestation life coach, here to empower you and inspire you. So if you do enjoy the content, like, subscribe, join the family here. And I love and appreciate all of you for being here as always. So with regards to this, okay, bear in mind what's going on here. I've seen this a lot in comments, particularly on my TikTok as well, where I get a lot of engagement. And it will be the same people playing the same record, the same tune, the same things over and over again, wondering why this isn't working, wondering why I messaged my SP and he still blocked me or ghosted me, so they're obviously not interested. This isn't working, this isn't happening. Maybe not everyone is meant to manifest an SP. Maybe this doesn't work. All sorts of things. Now, I manifest specific people all the time. I'm planting seeds for it all the time. I've manifested exes back for a relationship or for a friendship and a connection. I've manifested friends back, or manifested more harmonious relationships with, say, a boss or people that I knew that I didn't want disharmony with. Whatever it is, I test this and I plant all sorts of seeds all the time, just for fun, for pleasure. It's part of my desire to do that. I'll occupy a state that all of my exes come back to me because I leave an imprint in their life. I leave a strong impression because I'm this, that, and the other. I accept that. I embody that. And this is why they all filter in, some of them within weeks, months, even years, but everyone filters in the end. An ex or someone I've been involved with. I want to test this to prove to myself that this isn't just a fluke, and this is something that I can choose and use over and over again, and therefore teach and apply to my clients who are going through the same. And this is why, considering my numbers are small, I get so much success, I get so much movement, I get so much going on. I manifest on their behalf as well. We connect in this, and I know that it's painful, and I know that the way that I describe the law and the principles of the law here is simple to understand, hopefully, if I'm coming across clearly, and simple to grasp the whole concept and how we put this into practice. However, when you've got grief and pain and a history with someone, for example, and childhood wounds that get in the way, this isn't so easy to just apply. And I get that. I do get that from my own personal experience as well, and that of my clients too. I've seen it enough, but you can all do it. And that's why it's important for you to know the things that you should be avoiding. Like I say, with these comments that I might get that it's not working, that it's not. So what's happening here? Essentially, they're occupying a state of it's not working. SP doesn't care about me. You see, when I occupy the state of accepting that this specific person is either coming back or reconnecting or friendship, or, I'm seeing them conform, I'm in acceptance of that. I've planted the seed, and I'm either able to let it go completely, where I forget about it, depending on the situation, how much they mean to me, Or I'm in a situation where I discuss it when this happens, this is always the outcome, or X has always come back. I'm expecting that. That's my vernacular. That's my verbiage from the state that I occupy. I'm talking from the state of the person who has this desire, who is occupying this state of I am currently right now. So if you are commenting that it's not working, or maybe it doesn't work for everyone, or SP manifestations can't be, or whatever, then what is the state that you're occupying? If you're stating these things, then of course you're coming from the state of disbelief. I can't manifest this specific person. Maybe it wasn't meant for everybody. Maybe this isn't real. It's not working. So this is the state that I'm occupying, that it's not working. I'm not with my SP. Because think about it. If you have occupied the state of I am this person who has this desire now, in imagination, I've shifted my self-concept to I am the person who has this desire or who achieves this outcome, then we're not going to be talking about it's not happening. We're not going to be doubting it and further affirming it, writing it down, typing it down in comments of numerous videos that you might be watching. That's cementing your belief. That's coming from the state you occupy. Instead, take a step back and observe it. Because I would do that. Sometimes I would slip into the old ways and I'd be like, oh, if, maybe, oh, I hope they come back. This kind of language, again, it's not, I'm not occupying the state of being. You know when you've occupied the state of being and accepted your desire, when you speak in defiance of it. Think of something you wanted to manifest before. You were always talking about it like, yes, that's the car I want. I'm gonna get that car one day. I'll be driving a car like that one day. It's just that assurance, that assertiveness, that persistence. That's what brings in results. And so if you are being double-minded here, which a lot of people do end up falling into this trap, then this is why you're not seeing results. This is why it might be taking the longest time. Of course, look, sometimes you can do everything perfectly and it might still have a gap of however many years. I've had exes or people I've been involved with, like I say, they all come back. I just have a general self-concept. They all come back. It's quite pleasing to know that you've made an impression on someone, that they remember you, that they miss you, that they want to come back and check in or reconnect. I've had one that came in 7 years. Not that I was doing anything wrong, but of course, we don't know how long it's going to take, yet I knew that I was on the bridge. I didn't notice the time. But if you are noticing the time, if you are stating it's not happened yet and it's not working, if you are tempted and you're delving into the 3D and you're messaging them and you're checking the waters and you're checking their social media, then is that coming from the state of being the person who has this desire now? Or is that coming from the state of being the person who doesn't have this desire and is needing to check and is needing to push and is needing to try and manipulate things in the 3D? So be honest with yourself, because you cannot occupy two states at the same time. You have to. The sacrifice is kill off the old state to occupy the new. I mean, not literally kill it off. That state is still going to be there. It's eternal. It's infinite. But you know what I mean? That old version of yourself has to go so you can fully occupy a new state. You cannot be conscious of being in poverty and being in riches at the same time. Just like you can't be consciously aware of being full up and starving hungry at the same time. You cannot be consciously aware of being the person who knows this is my outcome with my specific person. I'm going to be with my specific person. Yes, I've experienced in consciousness. I am that now. This is what it looks like and feels like. To, I don't have it. It's not happening. It's not. So this isn't working. This is just proof that the law is working, because as I mentioned before about the reticular activating system, about how the law works, about how consciousness and this 3D reality is your expression of the state you are occupying, is your expression of your conscious self, or you're consciously aware of being. Then if you're consciously aware of being someone who doesn't have it and is lacking in it, is manipulating the 3D, it hasn't happened yet, that's what you're seeing more of. That's what you're projecting more of inadvertently. We have to change this. So be aware, ask yourself, what state am I occupying? Am I being true to my end state? Am I being double-minded here? I cannot be double-minded. I manifest from the most dominant dwelling place. If you're there doing imaginal acts and it's all wonderful, and then every day after that, you're still saying how it's not working, how it's not happening, how it's this. It can't work like that. When you've occupied the state, you've got to try and dwell there and see life from that state that's living in the end of your desire. So I really, really hope that this was clear and that this helped you guys out. Don't fall into this trap. Be aware of what you're doing and thinking and saying and commenting it's not working. Don't blame yourself if you are in that state, by the way. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. Just take a step back from it. Let me reoccupy the end state. And eventually I'm going to feel natural about it. And eventually I'm not going to question it anymore. And eventually I'm going to let go of this 3D delayed mirror. So I hope that was helpful to you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All the best.